I'm just going to say I have a bad hair day, which is true. Or the better method is not to
This
mention it
is
at all.
the Joe Gaither Show
Probably.
on BamaCentral.com.
All right, you're in the studio. All right, here we go. Good morning. Oh, we got to do that right there. Whoa, good morning, Theo. Good morning, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today? It's Monday, the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. BamaCentral.com. Hope you're having a great day. It's almost over. June is almost over. We got the NBA draft coming up this week, and then SEC Media Days and fall camp right around the corner. So we're going to have a great day on the Joe Gaither Show. We're live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. You guys will check us out on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Spotify. You're watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, the Bama Central Facebook page, wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate you checking out the show. You can find us at Joe Gaither 6. We're live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios, just off McFarland Boulevard. You can call Derek at 205-758-3391 for all your insurance needs. You can call us on the voicemail machine at 205-462-7340, extension 800. If you need that number, it's down in the corner. Leave us a comment, question, query, and complaint, especially at Theo Fernandez. Oh, I don't think I put the double underscore this time. I think I just tagged regular Theo Fernandez because it's a sleepy Monday morning. We're up late. Theo, how late were you up celebrating the Thunder last night? Thunder up!
Thunder up. And for the first time since I was 6 years old, I can say that I've watched one of my teams win a ring. And let me tell you, it is an incredible feeling. I did not know it could feel this good. I am still just over the moon. I don't think there's a single thing that could happen the rest of the week that could put me in a bad mood about anything. Wow, like this is just amazing. Lou Dort is an NBA champion, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Look, I'm sad it had to happen. Tyrese Halliburton getting hurt.
You don't sound sad.
It's hard to be sad because we won the ring. We would have won it if he was healthy. We would have won it no matter what. The best team in the league. There are two players, Joe, who have led their team to 84 wins in the season, regular season and playoffs combined. You know who those two players are?
We're going to guess Michael Jordan is one, and we're going to guess who's the Thunder's best player. We're going to guess SGA. Shea Gilchrist-Alexander. Are we 2 for 2, or am I deeply embarrassed?
2 for 2. Now, Jordan did it twice. Shea has a lot of chances to do it a second time.
Ugh.
It is just.
Are you putting Shea Gilchrist-Alexander in the Michael Jordan category right now?
Oh, I absolutely am.
I hope there's no one older than 40 listening, because they'll be really appalled at you.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. First of all, if there's one player in the league right now under the age of 30 who deserves to be put in those kind of talks,
it's Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards has proven one thing over the last. He's proven two things over the last 2 years. One is that one's the off the court stuff. Sure. One is that man is never gonna.
He's not very respectful towards women.
That man does not want to be a father, or he doesn't want to be that. He wants to father children.
Sure. Keep going. Spin forward.
Is that he is a playoff joker. He does not rise in the moment. He falls in the moment. Shea Gilchrist-Alexander was magnificent. He didn't have the best stats in Game 7, but it was just an ugly game. You know.
All right, so
the whole series.
I actually watched last night's game
really?
As I was driving back. I drove back from an out-of-town excursion, and I had it on the dashboard basically the whole time, except for I went into Buc-ee's after Tyrese Halliburton hit his third three, and I'm like, all right, it's a good game. Let me fill up gas, walk the dog, get a snack. And while I'm in Buc-ee's, I get a text message from our man Mason. He's like, are you watching? I said, yeah, I've been watching, but I'm on the road. And he goes, so sorry for Halliburton, so bad. And I said, wait, what? And he goes, yeah, busted his Achilles right then while I was in the bathroom. And so, yep, put it back on the dashboard when I get back in the car, and it's just like, oh, deflated.
Well, first of all, here's the clearest sign you'll ever get for why the NBA needs to shorten its regular season. The fact that we've seen Dame go down earlier, that we've Halliburton going down, that we had Tatum. They're just racking up. And, you look at how much basketball these guys play. We don't need 82 games. Come on.
We do for the money.
NBA's got to shorten the regular season. I hope they take this as a sign.
Or those guys need to stop wearing number 0. Isn't that the other thread that binds them all together?
Yeah, no, there's something about that number, huh?
Coach Saban banned that number. Coach Saban was like, we'll never wear that number.
Yeah, no one did it until Deontay Lawson.
Right. He didn't want it. Well, it was banned it wasn't allowed by the NCAA, but he also was like, well, we're not going to have anybody wear 0 because I want people to think better of themselves. I'm not a 0. I'm a hero. All right, keep going. You got about 3 more minutes left to gloat. So take all.
I will enjoy all 180 of these seconds because I've just been waiting on this for so long, man. I've never seen a team. I was 6 years old when I watched the Giants win the Super Bowl. So look, this OKC team, I don't think y'all understand just how much trouble the NBA is in. You have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
who's now Michael Jordan, I guess.
No, he seriously is the best pure scorer we have seen since Kobe Bryant. As far as guys who don't rely on the three-point ball, you look at the way he plays. He reminds me so much of, first of all, I think the best comparison I can make is a young Dwayne Wade.
Ooh, I like that one better.
But I like the Kobe thing is not a stretch. You've got,
fair.
First of all, Kobe, he was a superstar defensively. Shai is very good defensively. And he plays much harder defense than just about any star in the league. He does all the things the right way.
It's 12-minute quarters, right?
Yes.
So it's 48 minutes.
48
he plays
minutes.
40 out of the 48 minutes last night. Scores 29 points. He's 8 of 27. As you mentioned, better from the mid-range, 2 of 12 from three-point line. So the rest of it, the other 6 buckets coming from inside, and then gets to the 11 of 12 for the free throw line.
Yeah,
12 assists as well. That's probably your biggest number, 12 assists.
Right, the 12 assists, the distribution, the trust in his other guys to come out and make the plays. And one of those guys is Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams, I have never seen a third-year player who is putting up 40-point games in the NBA Finals get this much hate. The way that people have been talking about Jalen Williams through this playoff run, because he has a couple bad games here and there. The man's in his third year. He is 24 years old. He just turned 24 a couple months ago. And he dropped 40 points in an NBA Finals game.
Whew.
Averaged 25 and 5 all year. All NBA team. Scottie Pippen is the only comparison you can make right now. That is the only
You're
guy.
throwing around major names, my man. Major names.
And they are fully warranted.
Okay.
Because this, first of all, second youngest team to ever win a ring. The youngest team was the 77 Trailblazers. They were kind of a flukier team. They had injuries come around.
Y'all had injuries come around. Y'all got somebody hurt.
No, I mean,
y'all played against everybody that y'all. I saw a graphic last night that said, "Why did the Thunder win?" And it was 4 different injuries from 4 different series.
Yeah, and that's the fakest excuse ever. For the Blazers, I was talking about their core kind of fell
Oh,
apart.
sure.
Injuries happen every year. Every single year.
And I saw a picture of Curry holding a hamstring.
We didn't even play against Curry. We didn't even play them. That is the craziest excuse ever. Because if we played the Warriors instead of the Trailblazers, if Curry led them, then the excuse would be, oh, you guys played the 7 seed in the conference finals. That would be the excuse. NBA fans are some of the most miserable people.
What I saw Aaron Gordon hurt as well in a Nugget series.
Aaron Gordon is a role player.
Who did I see with the Timberwolves? There was a Timberwolf too that was in that graphic.
I don't even know. The Timberwolves weren't even dealing with any real injury. We also beat them in 5. We let them take 1 fluke game 3 and then ran them off the court. This is one of the most dominant teams we have seen since the Curry-KD Warriors and people are looking for any excuse to throw them down. This comes after years of me hearing, oh, we want, to see a small market team win, or, oh, I'm tired of the same teams over and over again, or, oh, give us some young stars that we can watch, or, oh, give us a team that plays physical defense. And you get that, and you're crying about it. NBA fans really, really, really just need to learn to be happy, man.
I think you can take the prefix of that sentence away. All fans need to learn to be happy.
Yeah, and
we're all looking for something to complain about, myself included.
Yeah, NBA is on another level, man. I haven't seen this anywhere. Like, I genuinely have not. Like, there's just nothing these guys can be happy about. This was the best NBA Finals we've seen since 2021. It's the first Game 7 we've seen since 2016. We had an NBA Finals game that was back and forth fun in Game 7 for the whole first half.
It was a good. I thought when Mason's hit me that text message, I said, "Oh man, it's about to go off the rails." And then Indiana fought like hell to stay in it. You hit the 3-pointer at the end of the half to take a 1-point lead, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe you can dig a little bit. I agree with you. The last game, it was entertaining to watch, and that will maybe stick with me a little bit as the regular season gets started next October.
And you just look at this Thunder team. Chet Holmgren, most blocks in a Game 7 game in NBA history with 5. Team had 14 steals. Just the level of defense that is played. It is absolute clinic at times. I mean, the second half was just magnificent, holding the best offense in the league to 43 points in the second half, to horrendous shooting. OKC plays as such a unit.
All right, you got 30 seconds left. I know, so I'm out of your way. 30 seconds.
This Thunder team is everything that an NBA squad should be. The fact that 21-year-old Cason Wallace is able to come in, pour in 10 points. The fact that Alex Caruso was the second leading scorer at halftime, playing elite defense. Even a name like Kenrich Williams, a guy who everyone was dead in the water. No one thought he was an NBA player 4 years ago. Comes to OKC, revives his career. Kenny Hustle. Everyone loves him. Nikola Topic, the number 12 pick, didn't even play. He is a freak athlete. He's going to be something special in the future. You look at the treasure trove of picks that OKC has. It is scary. I'd be terrified if I was a fan of any other team.
We didn't have our board set right, so you got a little more than 30 seconds.
And I can't wait to beat the Kevin Durant Rockets in the playoffs next year.
Kevin Durant on the Rockets. Oh, goodness. My microphone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All this stuff on the board has made me. Oh, there we go. There we go. It settled out. All right. Yeah, that's what I meant at the end of the 30 seconds. All right. Congratulations. You're the champs for the next, oh, goodness gracious, 365 days.
Oh, it'll be longer than that.
We'll see. We will see, and we'll keep up with it. Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez __ if you want to talk about Tyrese Halliburton and make your Colt McCoy comparisons. Hunter Decipher at BamaCentral.com tweeted about where does it rank in what ifs? Where does Halliburton's injury rank in championship what ifs? And somebody right below it, a very close second to Colt McCoy, and it's like, oh gosh, no. All right, so let's turn our attention back to Alabama. Let's turn our attention to the stuff that the real people are listening to and wanting to hear about. Sorry, Theo, no disrespect, but I just wanted to give you enough room. We ended Friday's show saying tears for Theo or celebrations for Theo, and so we were always going to lead off this way. But let's head out to the voicemail line. Our man Dax, look, last week he texted me about, I've got a defensive back voicemail in the tank, and I never really saw it. I don't know why, but I do have a new edition of a defensive back voicemail from Dax. And by the way, Dax was leading worship at his church over the weekend. I was able to check that out online. He did a very good job up there, man. Just leading worship. Church of Christ, they don't use use pianos, they don't use instruments. It was just Dax up there singing. And he obviously the rest of the congregation is singing back, but that's another level in my opinion. So good on you, Dax. Well done. Way to be a leader. This is Dax talking about defensive backs. We will chime in, hitting the pause button a few different times. You can be like Dax at 205-462-7340 extension 800. If you got a voicemail, if you got a topic, if you want to make fun of Theo or myself, we're welcome to it on the voicemail line. Here is Dax.
What is up, guys? Hope y'all had a great weekend. I know Theo did. I don't know why my last voicemail didn't send through, but we're going to give it a little take two action. But here we go. 2 statements before the main topic. Regarding the WNBA, Sophie Cunningham, will you marry me? Regarding the NBA, congratulations, Big Papa Theo. The Thunder brought it home for you. Well, bittersweet, though, because the Hailey band had to go out with that Achilles tear. Dude, that was so sad to see. But, Thunder won it. Theo, you followed the right team this year. Congratulations, buddy. All right, now on to the main topic. It is...
Whoa. I feel like that deserves a pause right there.
It does.
You followed the right team this year?
This year, being a Thunder fan is a way of life. The pain that we go through. When you watch Kevin Durant walk away, when I watch Darius Baisley play basketball for 3 years, when I watch Gabriel Deck shooting, getting meaningful minutes in a November game, and I'm resigned to the fact that this is my life as a Thunder fan right now. It's not this year, Dax. Come on, man.
Okay, we'll keep going because I think that was just a funny dig right there.
Unfortunately, the last position group breakdown on Sad Face. But that just means we are that much closer to football season starting. I cannot wait. So, we're going to start with the corners. First up on RollTide.com, we've got Mr. Domani Jackson. We hardly heard this man's name last year because guess what? He was covering his receivers so well they hardly threw it that way. But he had his first 2 career interceptions. I'm going to put the over-under at 2.5 for his interceptions this year. I think I might take the over on that. He might get 3. I'm excited for Domani this year because he's going to be better than he was last year. Then we got second on the agenda, Mr. Saban Brown. This man had an exceptional season as a freshman last year. For a freshman, exceptional season for a freshman. He got burned a couple times. But you know what? You live and you learn, Saban. You're a sophomore this year. You were going to do great things, buddy, due to all them freshman reps you got against, all those teams that you played. Cannot wait for Saban Brown this year. Then we got Dejon Lee. It is pronounced Dejon, not Dijon, but his nickname is Mustard in practice because Mustard, obviously. He's a 6'4" freaking corner, 197. Dude is a freaking beanpole, but guess what? He moves like he's under 6 foot tall. Dude is agile, fast. Man. At 6'4", this dude is going to be an absolute menace on the field, and I cannot wait for some Dejon Lee snaps, bro. Mustard. Then we got Deshaun Jones. I heard his nickname in practice. I didn't hear specifically, but this is from somebody else. They call him Day Day, so I think his name is Deshaun. He did really good. Really good. Not exceptional, but really good as a Husky during the back half of the year this year. I think he's going to improve on those snaps. Maybe he'll be able to hold on to the Husky role, but there's another player coming up that I feel like will actually take that from him by the end of the year. Then we got the transfer from Utah, Mr. Cam Calhoun. A lot of scouts say this guy is one of the best corners in the nation. I need to go watch some clips, but I believe the scouts. Cam Calhoun, it's just that's a corner name, I tell you what. Cam Calhoun, dude. He sounds like he's going to the league. Can't wait to see what Cam Calhoun does for us. Then we got the guy that could take the Husky spot from Deshaun, Mr. Xavier Mincy. Dude got in some of the plays last year. He did get a lot of snaps last year. And Xavier's really good. His potential, I know, is sky high. That's all I got on Xavier. I can't wait to see him actually get the full amount of snaps. Then we got Mr. Ivan Taylor. He's going to be a freshman. Might I add, this is going to be the most rotated group of the year, which I don't know if I like that or not. Like, I understand we need these young dogs some reps, but, you know, we also want to keep our best corners in the game against the good teams. So, because, I mean, there were a couple plays last year. I remember we had some freshmen in, and they would get burnt on some plays, and that's not good. But you know what? Live and you learn. Ivan Taylor's a freshman. I mean, this dude's potential, he's got the NFL blood. Dude is going to do great things. I know that. Just, I don't know about this year. Then we got Mr. Red Morgan. Mr. Stick me anywhere on the field, and I'll do my job as best as I can. Red Morgan is a very versatile option. He got in a lot of plays last year, a lot of snaps. I just don't know if he's going to be starting anywhere this year. And then we got Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. He also has, obviously, he's got the NFL blood. He's got big-time Alabama blood. The dude showed out in the spring. I know that. He's not going to be starting this year over all these other weapons that we have. But, all right. Well, apparently I ran out of time on that Take 2 voicemail, so here is Take 2.5. We're going to finish out the DBs. I left off on Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., Pro Blood. Go do great things. All right, now all I have left is Keon Sabb. Dude was so good when he was healthy last year. I believe he's going to expound on that goodness, and he's going to do even better things this year. He is a ball hawk. Love me some Keon Sabb. I don't really have that much to say about him. And then the monster that is known as Bray Hubbard.
I was wondering if he's going to leave him out.
Fantastic. Bro has all the potential in the world, and we didn't have any idea who he was until Keon Sabb went down and he had to fill in for him, and Bray Hubbard ended up being, I'm going to be honest, I liked him more than Keon Sabb a little bit. I like them at the same. Guess what? They're both going to be starting on the field this year against Florida State, and it's going to stay that way because Bray Hubbard and Keon Sabb are two absolute machines, especially Bray Hubbard. This guy's also be 6'2", 208. Bro can lay the freaking wood, too. Love me some Bray Hubbard. All right, that concludes the positional breakdowns for the entire football team. I had fun. I got to think of some more voicemail topics for the rest of the summer, and SEC Media Days is in a few weeks. Fall camp is very close. Can't wait for this football season. I'm very excited. Y'all have a good one, boys, and roll tide.
Roll Tide. That's Dax on the voicemail machine. I appreciate him breaking down the football team. He's got done every single position group so far. So ends with defensive backs. I'll feed you a question or two, Dax, if you're looking for other topics to talk about. I know on Thursday he said he was going to leave us a voicemail for Jasper Reed. We're going to have Jasper Reed of New Era Wrestling on Thursday, and so we'll talk to him. I think they have a personal connection, so we'll get Dax back on the voicemail machine right there. Theo, just open it up. Your thoughts on the defensive backs?
Is there a better 4-person starting tandem in any secondary in the country than Damani Jackson, Xavier Brown, Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb? I do not know.
No, but you got it. But real pause. We run a 4-2-5 now.
Yeah.
You got Red Morgan, Deshaun Jones, and really Red and Deshaun, and kind of Cam Calhoun fighting for that Husky.
Yeah, and that Husky spot is that's where first of all the most interesting battle will be, because those four just kind of have it on lock. Because I'm fascinated by who comes out in Husky. And I do wonder if maybe we aren't giving Cam Calhoun enough of a chance.
And Xavier Mincy in that Husky role too.
Because first of all, I feel like Cam Calhoun's a guy who has been talked about a lot more than I ever thought he would be. Like when he transferred from Utah, and now we've got people saying NFL. We've got people really hyping him up, which I love to see, but kind of, I feel like caught me off guard. You know, the fact that he's a guy that people look at as a very, very big time player. You know, I don't know. Like, I think Jones and Morgan would be a very tough battle, but I really would like to see Mincy especially come out and really contend for that Husky spot.
He will. I think you're going to see, really, if you gun to my head, it's going to be Red Morgan and Xavier Mincy with a little splash of Deshaun Jones.
Yeah, because I mean, look, Jones he's
a hitter. He is
a
physical man, and so he's perfect for that role now. I think what Dak said right there, one of the lines that Dak said right there is right. It's going to be the most rotated unit on the field. You're going to be you're going to be rotating the corners. You're going to be rotating the Husky. You'll rotate a little at safety as well. I think it'll be the most rotated unit of any position group on the field.
I agree. And really the only thing that Dak said that I disagree with is the idea that that's a bad thing. Because I think first of all, there's a lot more talent in this secondary than there was last year. I think looking at maybe it is true that Mincy and Morgan were on the field at times that maybe they shouldn't have been last year. I can guarantee that they've improved. I can guarantee you that they're taking strides. Dre Kirkpatrick will be a very playable guy. You alluded to it, Dax. I love the fact that Red Morgan really can. You can plug him anywhere, and he will go out there and he'll play the hardest football you've seen out there.
Yeah, I think he's capable to play really any of the three safety spots. More husky and strong safety, but I think he's capable of playing any of the three.
I really do love this secondary group. I mean, I think they're going to do great things this year.
Can we think of a unique nickname? Not the first thing that comes to my head is no fly zone, but that's not unique. That's terrible. That's like the lowest hanging fruit you can get. We've got some time to think about it. We got
70 days to come up with something.
Oh my gosh, it's less than 70 now. Yeah, because Friday was 71. So let's see what it was on the Bama. Didn't you do roll call last night?
No, I got taken off roll call, I believe.
Oh no, it's 68 days now, according to our friend Katie Wyndham in roll call. So 68 days away from kickoff. Yeah, we got to figure out a good nickname for the secondary. Something maybe Alabama related / you can't complete a pass. Because I think it's going to be, Dijon Lee. Oh my gosh, his Lee. The thing about Cam Calhoun and Dijon Lee are both the length. Now Dijon a little taller for sure, but when you look at Cam Calhoun's arms, they're down to his knees. They're down to below right at his knees. Like he is a long cornerback for his height and size. I think that what you're starting to see, Theo, is the coaching staff start to get players into this room that fit their mold of players. Coach Saban always had his measurables for certain positions. It seems very clear that at least at wide receiver and at corner, the coaching staff values height and length massively. Look at all the wide receivers that are recruiting. Look at the three. You got three wide receivers that are right on the bubble of committing, and all three of them 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". Like Sadarian Morgan, big boy. Brian Williams Jr., big boy. There's a third one that's escaping me, but all three of them are big old body wide receivers. And so I'm excited about the secondary for sure.
Oh, and you absolutely should be. This really, it's hard to criticize this unit in any way.
No, I'm sorry. If you got more on the secondary, you can. But if not, I've got two more topics to get into.
Yeah, let's do it.
Before we do, though, we need to remind you that we are live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios right here off of McFarland Boulevard. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs: home, life, auto insurance, renter's insurance, boater's insurance, really anything in the insurance realm. Even if you just have a question and you want to compare some prices, call them at 205-758-3391. I know they're upstairs right now waiting to take your phone call. They got brand new signage outside. Did you notice that, Theo, the brand new sign outside? Yeah,
I caught a glimpse of it.
We're gonna try to get our own marquee, home of the Joe Gaither Show on the bottom row.
Oh yeah.
But no, call them at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel and State Farm is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, we want to talk recruiting. Kind of the rest of this show is what I have, unless you got more topics, Theo. But I want to start with JJ Finch, and then I want to go into Nick Saban being on campus and recruiting, and why that happened, and a message to all the detractors, because there was a lot of detractors this weekend. Oh, DeBoer can't close. DeBoer can't this. DeBoer needs help. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that in a second because I'm actually kind of fired up about that. J.J. Finch, though, becomes a commitment for the Alabama Crimson Tide on Sunday afternoon, bringing Alabama up to how many commits now? You're at 42, 8 total commits, 42nd overall with the 24/7 rankings. You now have, was he the second defensive lineman or the first? He's the first defensive lineman.
Yeah, he is the first.
And you look on 24/7 and you see 3-star recruit and you see, oh no, that's not what you want. But you look at the height, you look at the weight, the 6'3", 260. You see he's the number 2 player in the state of Indiana. They've got him as the 50th overall defensive lineman per the composite. But then you got to go to the huddle tape and look at his tape. And, of course, all the huddle tape is highlights. But what I see is a lot of tools, that you can work with. Maybe he might play a little bit of touch undisciplined. I'll say that. But he has, for a high schooler at 6'3", 260, very, very, very good lateral quickness. The lateral movement and the hands to, I'll take a step one way, get the lineman to move into that step, move out to the move to the other step, and boom, I am through the gap. I see the name that immediately pops to my, when I first watched the tape, I thought, oh man, that quickness is like Quentin Williams. But no, now that I'm thinking about it a little further, Christian Barmore-esque. Christian Barmore, everybody wanted Barmore to get on the field more, but Nick Saban said no, he doesn't know the defense. No, he's playing his own game. No, he's stepping into the wrong gaps. Even though he is dominating, we need him to step in the right gaps. And once he did really master the defense, he became a second, third round pick for the New England Patriots, and was always devastating. He was always devastating when he was on the field. That's why people wanted him on the field more. J.J. Finch becomes the first defensive lineman in the class, and I am excited about him. I see 3-star right here listed, and I'm like, no, that's going to be reevaluated. Oh, yeah. He's got a 6 or 7 minute sophomore tape that I thought, oh, that's nice. And then I scrolled down one more and saw an 8-minute junior tape.
The evolution of his game and just how much better he looks. This is a guy where people are gonna talk in a year and be like, oh, look at how he's skyrocketed after committing to Bama. Like the Bama bump is always, biased. No, this is a clear case of a guy. I find it hard to believe that there are 480 players better in the country.
I agree.
Guy. And this is the guy who visited Miami, Tennessee, and Michigan all in the last month. Really, really, really excited to see him on campus. Hopefully we get him a semester early. And then the other thing is, okay, you can make the case of lack of discipline. Guess what the easiest thing for a college coach to instill in a player is? It's discipline. Yeah,
you got to have the tools to start with, right?
He has the tools.
And I think that Freddie Roach will get in his rear end and make sure he's going to the right gap with those tools.
Yeah, no, it's very, very excited about this commit.
A very good athlete from this tape. Now, I'm trying to look at the other side and see this competition, and okay, we'll admit Indiana high school football maybe not the best,
not a hotbed.
But you're standing out here. I mean, what you want when you put on a tape, you don't want to have to use the circle. And they are using the circle just to make it easy on you so you know where to direct your eyes. But there's one guy making all these plays. There's one guy wrecking the offensive line in these clips, and it is J.J. Finch. Jeremy Finch, I guess, is his official name. Jeremy, but it all goes and is listed by J.J. on really everywhere that you're looking. So that'll make it easy for you. J.J. Finch becomes your 8th commitment to the class, and as our friend Dax did leave on the comment section, you can leave it at Joe Gaither 6, really anywhere on the streams. We might have a lot of good ones commit today. Yeah, Mason's got like 5, 7. He's got about 5 or 6 different articles sitting there waiting in the tank, waiting on some guys to say, yep, my turn. You're looking at, I think Xavier Crowell has, oh, shoot, it is the 23rd. Yes, today is Xavier Crowell's day. I'm pretty positive today's Kamari Brooks. Oh, please, Lord. Please. Have you looked at Kamari Brooks yet?
I'm more familiar with Xavier. I've seen a couple things on Brooks.
I put this on my on the Twitter machine that I'm usually the kind of guy that just lets the chips fall where they may with Alabama recruiting. Because look, the coaching staff's going to get good players. Kamari Brooks is a guy that whose arm do I need to twist to make sure that we get Courtney Morgan knows exactly what he's doing, absolutely, and he's doing a great job. But Courtney, tap on the shoulder. That's one that I want bad, Kamari Brooks, and so you're going to get a lot of commits here this week. And everybody who's talking about Alabama's behind, Alabama's not you look at the number 42nd ranked class on 24/7 Sports. I think that number is about to shoot up real fast.
I got to step in with a quick story.
Please.
Because I was anchoring this weekend over at WVUA.
Oh, excellent.
And I'm in this control room in the sports office getting my show ready on Saturday. And, we had one of the interns, Kaylin, she yells like out from the main room in the sports office, like, "Oh, Kaylin DeBoer's here." And I look, and Kalen DeBoer is hanging out. He went down the elevator and quickly realized.
Was this Saturday?
Yeah, it was this Saturday. And, it was a couple hours after the Kirsten Russell funeral, unfortunately. So have to imagine that everyone had just gotten back from that. But then, the coaching staff comes back around, and in walks Coach Shepard. He just walks in, shakes our hand, says, appreciate all the work you do, and hope we don't mess anything up for y'all. So if you need any more indication on just what a class act this coaching staff is, first of all, that everyone was at this funeral, first of all, as unfortunate as that was. But then, Coach coming in, taking the time to talk to us, shows appreciation for the coverage. And anyone who's heard him talk knows he's my favorite coach to interview. I love the stuff we get out of him.
I sure hope we can keep him another 2 years.
And you got to imagine that there are bigger and better things out there for him, because there should be a much better job out there, and he absolutely will probably be gone sooner rather than later, but he deserves it.
Yeah, unless you have more on JJ Finch, I think that leads me right into the Nick Saban.
No, you go ahead.
So Nick Saban's on campus this weekend. And look, guys, he lives 10 minutes away. The house is 10 minutes away. So it's not far. It's not like he's making a special trip. Obviously, he's got his Florida property as well, but he lives 10 minutes away. And here's what you got to connect some dots here, Theo. It drove me crazy on the social media machines. Coach DeBoer needs Coach Saban's help. Coach DeBoer can't do it. I think that's an asinine take. I think that's a wild take. I think that is a wildly, how do we want to say it? But you're not seeing the whole picture. As you get Coach Saban with all the photos of Tank Johnson, and you got him with Xavier Crowell, you got him with Cedarian Morgan. He basically manned the Saturday recruiting day, and it's the biggest recruiting weekend of the year, right? It's the biggest recruiting weekend of the summer. And Coach Saban is handling it. And you're thinking to myself, the initial reasons is, well, where's DeBoer? Why isn't DeBoer over here? And I think you have several layers at play here, Theo, that show you exactly what this staff is about. You just mentioned it a little bit, speaking to WVUA and students and reporters who, honestly, not to be disrespectful to you, Theo, but there's no reason why they should speak to you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There's no reason why taking time to shake your hand is worth their time. But this plays right into what I think the staff is about. I told the story in the spring. You had a player go to Coach DeBoer and say, look, Coach, you've been talking about fatherhood and family, and you've been talking about, what kind of man we all need to be. And I think I need to transfer out to be closer to my son, to be closer to my kid. And Coach DeBoer, man, you're a good player, but yeah, absolutely. And let's get you to a place that's closer to your son. And that's exactly what happens. And so you prioritize right there in the winter transfer portal window. You prioritize the person over winning. What is this weekend? How many 5 stars were on campus this weekend. I mean, just go down the list. I know all y'all are subscribed to all the recruiting services. Just go down the list. But to me, the big ones are you got Sadarian Morgan, Xavier Cowell, you got this Tank Johnson, this defensive line. I think it's Tank Johnson, defensive lineman. You had a lot of 5 stars on campus. It's a huge weekend for recruiting. The final look, dead period started Sunday night. Right, I'm pretty sure it was Sunday night. It was Sunday night or right here Monday morning. Dead period is on. No more visits on campus. So, what in the world could be more important than courting all these 5 stars and saying, "Hey guys, I know y'all have been at Auburn, at Tennessee, at Oregon, at Ohio State, at Texas. At name your favorite rival school or least favorite rival school. They've been there. These guys are good." But no, on Saturday, and I'm sure the coaching staff was involved on Friday night and involved with the Friday stuff and on probably a little bit on Saturday morning as well. But on Saturday morning, Coach DeBoer and Nick Sheridan at the least. I'm sure there were more people. I'm just going off what was in the photo that I saw. Coach DeBoer and Nick Sheridan at the least leaves these elite recruits and goes to Tupelo, Mississippi to be with their freshman quarterback who has lost his twin and essentially prioritizes the human over winning. And to me, that is unheard of as far as what today's college football and what today's college football really, the high stakes, the money that's at play, the win at all cost. And so you got twofold. One, Coach DeBoer prioritizing the human, prioritizing the person, prioritizing the human need that I need to be with Keelan Russell and his parents. I need to be with their family. I need to show them that this is what our program is about, right? Tragedy has struck your family. Oh, really deep tragedy has struck your family. And instead of, I know it's the last recruiting weekend of the year. We got to be here. Sorry. Hope you have a good funeral. We're praying for you. Thoughts and prayers. It says, no, it is that important. I'm going to be there. And yeah, Tupelo's not too far. So you got logistical issues where you can make that happen and get on back. As you mentioned, you're back on Saturday night. But to leave the recruiting weekend to be with your freshman quarterback who may or may not play a down this year. Now, we all are hoping that, we might get to see him some, but he may or may not play a single down this year. And yeah, you could say, well, Joey's trying to keep him out of the portal for next year. Sure. And maybe that is, he's still recruiting Keelan Russell to make sure he doesn't go out of the portal. You can go that angle if you want to go real dirty, but I think it speaks volumes of Kalen DeBoer. I think it speaks volumes of the coaching staff. You saw Josh Chapman was in that photo, and you scan right across the photo. You see Ty Simpson, you see Austin Mack, you saw I'm pretty sure Jeremy Bernard's in there. Yep. You've got lots of you saw Jackson Lloyd was there. You saw Mal Waldrop is there. Like basically lots of offensive players spend their Saturday with Keelan Russell. Mm-hmm. Now, to me, I just think that last week we did what's the second year expectations, what's the proper expectations, and sure, we all want national championship or bust, but the kind of program that Kalen DeBoer is running, to me, I think is a little unusual to, you look across the college landscape and you see the Texases, the Georgias, the Ohio States, we're just about ball, we're getting you to the NFL. And look, I think those staffs have good men on them as well. I'm not trying to talk poorly about those staffs as well, but how many of them would abandon the last recruiting weekend of the summer where you have 5-star after 5-star after 5-star coming to your campus, and which coach would say, yeah, I got to leave early, guys. Got to leave early to go do a human interest thing. I think that's rare. Now,
it's very rare.
What helps him, what allows him to do that a little bit, is having the greatest coach of my lifetime. You can argue who the greatest coach is overall, but of my lifetime is pretty much no argument. Nick Saban, that you have him 15 minutes away. And you say, hey, coach, you been missing recruiting? I know you used to love it, getting to know the players, getting to know the families, and getting to do the Cupid shuffle, and have the weekends. Man, I hate to ask you, but we really need to get out of town on Saturday. Could you step in a little bit and just make sure these guys know what Alabama's about, know what these guys, make sure that these guys know what the program's about, know where the weight room is, how nice it is, know that we are about winning. But hey, we just really can you step in? And Coach Saban right on down and says, yeah, sure, and takes photos with all these 5 stars. And look, it works out great because if I'm Billy 5-star, I've probably met Coach DeBoer 5 times by now. 4 times by now. I'm Coach Sedarian Morgan's been on campus a bunch by now. Xavier Crowell has been on campus a lot so far. Like, he knows these guys. We're going to mix up the last recruiting weekend of the year by here comes Coach Saban. I just thought the entirety of the picture, and maybe it's crimson colored glasses, but the entirety of the picture is absolutely beautiful to me.
I could not agree more, Joe. Says everything you need to know about the program that Kalen DeBoer is trying to build, the program that he already has built. And look, I mean, there's gonna be probably some rough moments on the field. That's a given. It's part of any season. At the end of the day, the program that is built, it's all starting to make a lot more sense now. It's making a lot of sense why DeBoer was hired. Not that was ever in doubt. It's making a lot of sense why nobody entered the portal in the spring. And, you realize that, no, this is all genuine. Everything that's being built, everything that's being said. One of the things, they talked about the QB battle, and they talked about how no matter what, all 3 of those guys were there for each other. And we're supporting each other no matter what. And it becomes clear just how true that statement was when you look at something like this.
So I just, I got fired up with a lot of people. DeBoer needs Coach Saban to step on in, and he can't recruit. He can't recruit nobody. They need the GOAT to closer. I thought, you're not seeing the whole picture here, friend. You're not seeing the whole picture here, enemy. Like, you're just not seeing it. And then you go on social media and you see the coaches at the funeral, and you're like, duh, makes perfect sense. Like, so I was floored with Coach DeBoer prioritizing the human over winning. Because when you think about high-level college football, you think about win at all costs. And if it was a win at all cost situation, he probably stays on town and make, hey, Sedarian, we need you. Sedarian, let's look at these Roma Dunze highlights. Sedarian, let's look at these Julio Jones highlights. You could be these 2 guys. We're going to make you Roma Dunze in an Alabama uniform. Cha-cha-cha. We really, and I think that you're in a really good position with Sedarian Morgan. But if you miss out on recruits because the Coach DeBoer went to Tupelo, Mississippi to be at this funeral, then fine. To me, fine, no problem. Like, hope you guys have a great college career. Like, Alabama, at least in this weekend, operated as above board, as honorably, respectfully as you really can. And I was really impressed and moved by that, because of you look at college football at the highest level, and it is cutthroat. And I'm impressed by the coaching staff choosing not to be cutthroat and choosing to, what's the best play for us? We need to be with our freshman quarterback who's been on campus for a couple of months now, who left home with his twin, left home, and he's been away from home, and we've got to really surround him. This is a huge tragedy, awful moment, and we've got to be with him to make sure that he knows that when he's in Tuscaloosa, this is family, this is home, and we're going to support him in whatever way that we can. I was just impressed, Theo. I mean, I've probably said this now 3 times, but I was just impressed.
Yeah, no, and you should be. And, I still just can't imagine how hard that has to be to go through. First of all, leaving home to go to school is already an experience in itself. And then going through that with a sibling, but especially your twin, that's just really, really feel for him. And the program, it's good to see that they're trying to do stuff to make him feel, as welcomed and as noticed as possible.
All right. So as Dax left us on the comment section, there are a lot of guys committing very, very soon. But so I think you're going to expect to see Cedarian Morgan kind of jump on board. I think you're going to expect to see Brian Williams jump on board in the coming days. I am hopeful that today is a Kamari Brooks day. And if he goes to Georgia, I'll cry. I won't cry on camera, but I'll cry. So it's going to be a big time for recruiting. You've got 68 days until Alabama kicks off. Really, from now until the second week? It's July. It's July 14. I think is the start of SEC Media Days. So you got about 3-4 weeks until SEC Media Days get started. We'll start, Theo. We'll start playing our own, because look, last year at SEC Media Days, I wasn't really prepared to cast my preseason ballots for. I was prepared for a team order. I wasn't really that prepared for who I was going to pick for all SEC.
Wait, so are we all voting on that there?
Heck yeah, man.
Oh wow, okay.
You're gonna get. Oh, you're coming with me, right?
Yeah, I'm with you that whole week.
Yeah, we'll get an email on Tuesday, Wednesday of that week, and we'll have about 12 to 14 hours to submit it.
That is awesome.
It'll look like a Google document, and it'll say, "Would you like to see your own ballot?" After you put, and then they'll send out results there before the end of the week.
Oh, this is all. I got to fill out the all SEC tournament team in Hoover. Like this is gonna be another level, huh? This is exciting.
But you're always gonna get somebody who's gonna put Vanderbilt number one. Last year, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I think I put Alabama right over Texas and then Georgia. So close, but no cigar for me. I would like to be accurate over Homer. That would be my. Are we going? Mason gave me hell last week because I think I'm putting Arch Manning in my, because you get two votes for the quarterback. Lenore Sellers, Arch Manning. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now.
Arch Manning absolutely gets one of my. I think Arch Manning will be the best QB in the country this coming year.
And then he's going to watch and see who gets the number one overall pick and decide if he wants to stay in Texas one more year. Because I think people are making it a given that he's gone. But if it ain't the right team at number one, he's going to go back to Texas and try to, make more NIL and keep the stock really high. And
he's a guy who's probably hurt by that whole cap being put on. Because I'd have to imagine that he would, if he goes out and plays Heisman level football, like I think he will, and then comes back, he will shatter in every sense of the word, every NIL record.
Yeah, you just got to put him in a Mercedes commercial here or there, or put him on the Heisman House commercial. They're Nissan. So
could you imagine an active player in a Heisman House commercial?
Yo, didn't we have? Well, Caleb Williams was in one. Bryce was in one, but they weren't active, were they?
Yeah, no, they were already moved on. Because I don't think Caleb was in one after that last year at USC.
No, I agree with you.
That would do crazy numbers.
Wild. All right. Anything else you got for the people? I know you're getting out of here for the day, going to talk to a bunch of fun people. You want to circle back to the Thunder? I
want to talk about what I think.
Yeah, give it to me.
The most fun, absurd sports moment over the weekend.
Ooh, hit us with it.
Coastal Carolina.
Oh my God, thank you. Yes.
For those, if you somehow have not seen this,
a travesty.
And LSU wins game one. Cade Anderson goes complete game shutout in a 1-0 win. Just absolute gem of a performance. Game two, Coastal facing elimination. It's the first inning.
Travesty. I cannot believe this happened.
Coach Kevin Stahl's not really agreeing with what the umps are doing. He steps out. He's talking a little back and forth. Next thing you know, he is out of the game. They toss him. It's the most whimsical.
You heard his version of it.
And that's what we're going to go into right now. Because this is one of the best post-game sound bites I've ever heard. We ran like 40 seconds of it at WVUA last night, which is absurd for us to do, but it was worth every second. LLC would go on to win the game, so Coastal is eliminated. Here's the quote. Because so first of all, after getting ejected, he kind of went up to the umps, right? So he's talking right in front of them. And then one of the umps goes down, just falls. His quote is a guy who came in extremely aggressively, tripped over Campos' foot, one of the guys, embarrassed in front of 25,000, immediately goes 2-game suspension. And then he goes, Coach Schnall, there was no bump. He was embarrassed. I shouldn't be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism. And you look at it and you see the video, and yeah, the ump just trips.
You ready for this? I think I pulled this.
Do you have the other quote?
Yeah. No, I think I pulled what you want right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's 25,000 people there, and I vaguely hear a warning issued. As the head coach, I was assistant for 24 years, and as an assistant, you're almost treated like a second level citizen, and you can't say a word. Now, as a head coach, I think it is your right to get an explanation of why we got warned. And I'm 48 years old. I shouldn't get shooed by another grown man, right? So when I come out to ask what the warning is, a grown man shooed me. So at that point, I can now hear him say, it was a warning issued for arguing balls and strikes. And at that point, I said, because you missed 3. At that point, ejected. If that warrants an ejection, I'm the first one to stand here like a man and apologize. 2 words that define our program are own it. And what does that mean is you have to own everything that you do without blame, without defending yourself, without excuses. If you guys watch the video, there was a guy that came in extremely aggressively, tripped over Campos' foot, embarrassed in front of 25,000, immediately goes 2-game suspension, and said, bumping the umpire. Immediately does that. There was no bump. He was embarrassed. I shouldn't be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism. They'll retract it, though, because now it's excessive. And the reason why it's excessive, because I was trying to say, I didn't bump him. It is what it is. But if that warranted an ejection, man, there'd be a lot of ejections. As an umpire, I feel like it's your job to manage the game, the national championship game, with some poise, some calmness, and a little bit of tolerance.
Getting ejected in the first inning of the championship game,
Wild.
Without a warning, for telling the umpire that he missed 3 pitches, is egregious. Look, LSU was the better team. They were probably going to win this series either way. But I'd be besides myself. Could you imagine if this happened to Alabama?
You got to have leeway. Like, okay, even if the umpire's like, I got those 3 right. I got those 3 pitches right. You're wrong. I'm the one behind the plate. You're seeing it from a different angle. Like, even if that's your take, like, it's the national championship. Their season is on the line. Yeah. They're in an elimination game. You're gonna toss them out in the first inning. You're not gonna say, "Hey, coach, I think I got those 3 right. I hear you. Go back to the dugout. I hear you. Go back. I hear you. Go back to the dugout." To immediate, because you missed 3. Now, granted, there might have been some colorful language, but
shouldn't matter.
No, it shouldn't matter. You're in you're umpiring the national championship series. You should be the best of the best, and honestly, your emotional control should be better than most of the other umpires in the college baseball world. I don't know what it is about umpires, but they're all like this. So super sensitive. Like, maybe I'm just not arrogant enough, but I know that if I were an umpire, I'd be missing calls. I'd try my absolute best. Oh my gosh, I'd be trying my absolute best to get them right, 100%. But am I arrogant enough to think that I'm going to get every ball and strike correct? No, I think that is an absurd, an absurd expectation. And if you do have that expectation, and somebody says, "Well, you got that one wrong," like, understand the moment. That coach is looking for every little advantage, every little, okay, we got to make sure that we're every I is dotted, T's are crossed, that sort of thing, to throw them out. And they not only threw him out, they threw the first base coach out as well, right?
Yeah. Who was basically the highest in command assistant.
Right. And so you're just going to nuke their coaching staff in the first inning. That was a wild thing to me, and I did watch that game yesterday, and I was just like, I got it on by about the second inning, third inning, and I hear them. They threw out the first, they threw out the umpire, the head coach, and the first base coach in the first inning. And I'm thinking, what in the world? Did they punch the umpire?
That's what you'd think. I was editing at the station while it was all going on, and I looked away. So I'm obviously watching, and I see the ejection. I look away and I see the umpire on the ground. I'm like, did they just punch the umpire? No, they didn't. He tripped. It really is absurd. One of my takes has always been that I think umpires in general and refs get a lot more hate than they should.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the job they do is generally very good. The one exception is these home plate ball and strike umpires, knowing that AI can do this exactly perfect. But one of my takes, and I've never had a chance to voice this take before. I've had it for years. I think now umpires and refs for every league sign like CBA deals, just like players. And you may remember, do you remember how the 2011 NFL season started, Joe?
With the replacement refs, right? Yeah.
Do you remember how that ended? How that whole replacement situation shook itself out?
Well, the Seahawks rightfully won a game. Isn't that where you're going with this? The Seahawks rightfully won a game. The Packers blew a game.
So you had one of the biggest officiating controversies. And I was obviously not actively watching, or I wasn't actively comprehending football at the time. I think if I'm a ref, seeing the way that you're constantly disrespected really across all areas by all fans, I'd say, you know what? Let's go on strike again. Let's let these fans get a taste of what it's like without us. Bet they'll be a lot more grateful after that. I would seriously, I think if I was like the head of the NBA ref association, or really any league, I'd be telling them, let's let him watch. Let's let him see these worst refs have to take over. I think someone should have the guts to try it, because I think fans are way too comfortable talking smack to referees.
But we need an AI balls and strikes. And we need the we need the, what is it? The chip in the football.
Yes.
Those things. We've come far enough with technology to where you can AI the balls and strikes, and you can use the chip in the football to get the first down lines.
The biggest change that we need is faster reviews.
Yes.
Look at what the UFL does, what they've done since 2022. It's basically like a common sense review. You know how there are calls that you can recognize right away, and they're reviewing it and you can tell? They literally, the second that they decide they're throwing it to review, they have their people watching the game using all the angles that everyone has. And they have, professional refs looking at this. Someone working for the league makes a quick call, and sometimes, like, the ref will still be walking out to the tablet to review it, and they've already made the call from up there. That's what we need.
I'm with you there. Then good.
Like, it's just anything that we can be doing. The problem's worse in basketball.
Yes.
It's horrendous in basketball. It ruins the flow of games. Football, whatever, because you already have a break between plays no matter what. It gets annoying sometimes, but also like it's hard to, it just builds tension sometimes. It's a little less of a problem there. But I completely agree on that. I completely agree on the chip in the football.
I mean, if high level soccer can use it for offsides and use it for goal, no goal, breaking the point of the goal, breaking the point of the goal line, like, I'm sorry, if high level soccer is using it, then the NFL needs to be using it as well.
The automated pitches, and that's the one that I'm a little skeptical on, because I think there really, really, really needs to be a way, to account for framing. Framing is an art. Like, it really is. And it's something that a lot of people, Jose Trevino, would have never had an MLB career. He turned into an MLB All-Star because of his ability to frame the baseball. That's an art. That's a part of the game. That's a genuine skill. We need to be able to account for that. But we also got to get better on these balls and strikes. Trust me, I've watched
that. But like, if we're not going to get better at it, just have a little bit of grace of, hey, you're arguing because you don't like my perspective. Okay, cool. Like, I called strike 3. You thought it was outside, and you're angry about it. Like, you got to have a little grace and leeway to be like, yeah, you're angry about it, and you that's a natural reaction to, you missed that call, I got it right. Like, you got to have a little bit of just poise in saying, okay, Billy Batter, you're mad, or you're going to be mad for 2 seconds and go back to the dugout. Like that, you got the batter that pops off at the mouth and then walks to the dugout ultimately doesn't bother me at all. Let him pop off at the mouth. And of course, we want everybody to be classy, that sort of thing. But like, isn't that a natural, when it's all judgment calls, it's like, oh, your judgment call was wrong, but you're still walking to the dugout going to sit down, Yeah. It's like, okay, maybe I got it wrong. Next batter. Like, you don't need to make every issue I got it right. You're getting thrown out. Ah!
Completely agree there.
All right, Dax. Theo. I'm looking at Dax's comments right here. That's what I think we had a good show. Congratulations to your Thunder, champions for the next year. I got a Boston Celtics fan friend who up until yesterday I said, you're still defending champs. Yeah. You're still defending champs. So we'll see. Y'all will be defending champs until someone takes it away from you.
You know what I'm just excited for the next year? No one can say anything to me. Anytime someone tries to say anything about the Thunder, we got a ring. That is all that matters.
Y'all got a bunch of draft picks on Wednesday, Thursday's draft?
Yeah, we have number 15 and number 24.
15?
Yeah, Miami Heat.
Y'all taking Mark Sears? You're taking Grant Nelson at 15?
So, like, we might take Grant with the second rounder. Like, he's a guy that I could see OKC going with. I think they're going to trade up. If OKC trades up and somehow goes for
Malawash.
On there. He is going to be the second best player in this NBA draft.
Yeah, Cooper Flag, great, but like, Malawash is the man I want.
He's a freak. He is. He's going to do special things.
You put him with what is the German guy that you've got?
Hartenstein. Yeah, no.
Hartenstein, Malawash, and Chet Holmgren all together. Nobody, you ain't getting to this rim. Nobody's getting to this rim.
Touching it. And that would be awesome because we have the best small ball lineup in the league. We could have the best big lineup in the league with 6'6" Shea being our smallest player. Possibilities around this. It's not going to happen, but the NBA draft will be fun this year.
We'll talk about that the rest of the week. Yeah. Mason and myself will get you ready. We'll see if Mark Sears, if Grant Nelson are going to get selected. Oh, cross your fingers. Both those guys, the latest ESPN mock draft had them at like 60 and 61 or 59 and 61. I think there's 58 picks or something like that. So they're like on the edge of being in that second round draft. And maybe for them, shoot, maybe for them, the better move is not to be drafted so they can be going to the G League team, going to the Summer League team of their choice. So we will see what happens with those guys this week.
I'm going to leave y'all with one.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to leave you with one last take. I think Mark Sears probably is going to go undrafted, but I think Grant Nelson is going to go a lot higher than a lot of people think. I'll predict 41 Golden State Warriors. I think he's going to go a lot higher than some people think. When you look at the fact that, first of all, a lot of the players project, like there are a lot of these fifth-year guys projected.
Mm-hmm.
Like Broom's a projected second rounder. Kobe Bryant from Kentucky is a projected. Vlad Golden, Michigan. Like there are a lot of older guys. I think Eric Dixon, even the Villanova forward, is in their mix. So age, it's not like it's, oh, do you take Grant Nelson or do you take this really, really young 18-year-old who's really raw? No, it's you take Grant or do you take
his
Janai
equivalent?
Broom? To me, like Grant Nelson's a higher upside guy than a lot of these other really young or a lot of these other older players.
Well, we'll find out this week. Grant Nelson, are you going to get drafted? Theo says 41 to the Golden State Warriors. We'll keep up with it on the Joe Gaither Show. Follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. Check him out at WVUA 23, anchoring every other weekend. You can see him doing sports right there on WVUA 23. If you're not in the local area, don't y'all have a website you can stream it?
WVUA23.com.
There we go.
Won't be on for until basically 2 weeks. I just finished up this weekend, but been a wild ride every time.
Absolutely. So check out Theo behind the sports desk at WVUA 23. We appreciate him joining us every Monday. We're going to keep up with recruiting, big recruiting day. I think Mason's got a bunch of them in the tank. As soon as he gets off work at Home Depot, we're going to be announcing all the commitments. They're all going to say Alabama. You got elephants all over the timeline. So it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a fun week on the Joe Gaither Show. We appreciate everybody who is watching the show, everybody who is sending the show to their friends, sharing the show with their friends, joining us on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on BamaCentral and BamaCentral.com.